episode 65 of the Unscripted Company Podcast, your mom's favorite podcast. Ask her about it. Y'all can watch it together. It's a good
Thought
time.
it was your dad's favorite podcast.
Every week it's a new person. If you think about it, I
Alright.
started off with, I think it was your uncle's favorite, then it was your dad's favorite, now it's your mom's favorite. It's the whole, we're getting the whole family together, right?
I guess so.
Getting the whole family. Getting the whole family. No one's called me out on it yet, so I figured, hey, I'll just keep saying things.
That's I was like, wait a second.
No, yeah. So we're live for this week. Riley was asking me right before we went live, just like how the day was going. I figured, heck, might as well just go live and then just start talking about it. So today is the 1 year wedding anniversary for Abby, my wife and I. And this morning we actually woke up with a phone call from Fogo de Chao. We were going to go do like a nice anniversary lunch at Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's one of those things where, for those of you who weren't aware, at Brazilian steakhouses, they give you basically like a tabletop card. One side's green, which means go. The other side's red, it means stop. And as long as your card is green, they will continue to bring you tableside protein. So beef and steak, chicken, lamb, like anything you can picture a steakhouse possibly bring you to, and they serve it to you tableside. And I'll say it's not cheap. So it's a place you go for celebrations.
It's not cheap, but if you're wanting a budget friendly, like nice dinner, steakhouse, all that without spending like $300, that's the place that you would go to. Like you don't just order a meal and like you get appetizers and stuff too, but if you want to just go and spend, I think it's like $50 to $60 a person for all you can eat. And they're not like Korean barbecue. They don't charge you for what you don't finish. So you can just keep ordering. And you also get the full, like all you can eat salad bar, cheeses, everything like that. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, we had a reservation to do that today. We wake up to a phone call from one of the hostess at Fogo, and we're like, hello. They go, well, hey, so we're calling to tell you that we have to cancel your reservation. But the reason is they have to close the entire restaurant for the whole day because the fans in the kitchen weren't working for whatever reason. So they had to literally call everyone that has a reservation today and then basically cancel the reservation. It wasn't too big of a deal for us. We kind of got a laugh out of it because there was this other Brazilian steakhouse in town called Casa de Brazil that we had never been to. We used to live over by there, and we were like, you know what, let's give it a try. Cool thing was, it was actually a way better experience than we were expecting from Fogo de Chao, because this was same concept, like almost copy and paste of like the process you go through, but it's a much smaller building, and it felt like 5-star dining. Like they even pulled out my chair for me to sit down. Sometimes I'll see it when they pull out the chair for the lady, but they pulled out my chair whenever I sat down. It's a good time though. Got the meat sweats, and then definitely wanted to take a nap very, very shortly thereafter. Yeah. But it was cool because we went, and I didn't know this when we made the last minute reservations, but they had this like brunch special where essentially it was still the full menu of everything, so you didn't really lose anything. But they were even going around with like pancakes, these like high end little pancakes and things.
What?
And yeah. But highly recommend. It's interesting. Casa de Brazil, I was looking, they're just in Texas. There's like, I think there might be one in Dallas, but I looked, there's one in Austin, one in Waco, one in College Station, one in Houston. I think there might be one in Dallas somewhere. So
it's either, if I think I know where it's at, it's either that or it's a Texas de Brazil.
I know Texas de Brazil is one of them. So that might be the one. But this one in particular is Casa do Brazil, but it's Portuguese. So I think the D-O is pronounced day. Once you kind of butcher it up a little bit, but definitely recommend it. Honestly, any Brazilian steakhouse, if you haven't ever been, highly recommend.
See, we've
oh, they don't have one in Dallas. It's just Austin, College Station, Houston, and Waco.
That's kind of,
but it's probably the same thing as Texas de Brazil.
Yeah, because see, we've been not that we'll probably do one of those two, but it literally hit me today, and I was like, "Hey, we got it," because we were planning on going to Colorado for a 5-year anniversary.
Yeah,
that was Lord willing that everything worked out with how work was going to go this year. Kind of didn't happen. So, but it's funny because we are still going to Colorado. We're doing a weekend mission trip with another couple from our church. So we are
Yeah.
technically getting to go, which it's funny how that, again, how God does things, but it's like, we're having to go and everything's paid for. We don't have to pay for anything. We can just bring money for souvenirs and, whatever else. And so we were kind of debating on like, okay, well, what do we want to do for our anniversary then? Because usually we would just kind of go do a couple things and then come home and then get ready and go eat dinner. But we might try to make like a full like day out of it where we can go get brunch somewhere and go to,
Yeah.
but do like small old town stuff essentially
Yeah.
instead of like, other stuff. But that's something that we were thinking about. And then we're trying to figure out where we want to go for this year because we went to Capitol Grill last year. We went to the Crown Block in the Tower, our 3rd year anniversary. We went to Perry Steakhouse, our second. Was that our second year or was that first year? I don't remember at this point. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm trying to remember when we went our first year. I think we might have gone to Perry Steakhouse. Oh yeah, we went to Perry's on our first. Then we went to Davio's. So Davio's is that Italian steakhouse over in the Colony.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I mean, they were all good, but experience wise, Crown Block in the Tower was you can't
Really?
you can't
Okay.
match that. Have you Crown Block is the ball in Dallas?
Yeah, I've never actually been up there. I've always just seen it from
It's
the highway. I'm looking at
pri-
photos right now.
price wise, honestly, pretty competitive to some of the other restaurants. It's not as expensive
Okay.
as what you think,
Yeah.
and so we went up there, and that was an awesome experience for those of you who don't know. Yeah, so the giant ball. So click that one that's right down below to the left. Yeah. So up in that ball, that's where the restaurant's at. And so
Yeah.
you can just take an elevator all the
Does
way
it
up.
rotate?
So the restaurant itself doesn't anymore, but the viewing tower, I think, or like
Yeah.
the big open room or whatever, that still rotates.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you're all the way up there. And it was
Nice.
actually pretty cool. Like we had very good vantage point because where they sat us at, we could see all of the downtown stuff, and then we could see out like in like the open field type areas. But you can go
Yeah.
there for brunch, like you can go there for dinner. Like we actually, might try to go there for brunch and see what they got, see if they have anything different. But dude, it was good.
That does actually look really good.
So yeah, we went there on our 3rd anniversary, and I'll be honest, like I'd be remiss to say, hey, maybe we'll just go back there, but we always try to find a new place every like every chance we get. And since we only go on our anniversaries, we'll try to find somewhere new to go. But you
Yeah.
just can't beat that experience, though. But apparently they've got another place in Dallas too that's also a rooftop restaurant. So I may try to look that up and see what it is and see if I can find that and maybe go check that one out.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. One thing I never really took advantage of, and I guess it's still kind of a bit of a drive, but you can always go up to Windstar and just kind of have a little mini like staycation, you know?
I thought about it, but
Yeah.
I'd be worried that I'd go spend money.
That could be a concern.
Go spend money and then I'd lose everything.
That is true. That
So
is
I've done
true.
that I haven't lost everything, but when, as well after you left Applebee's, we used to always like get off work and a bunch of us would just go to Windstar. And here I am, a 27-year-old man going to Windstar with a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of just, I'm good with that. Like I won a little bit, but I lost a bit too. And
You
I will,
lose more than you win.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to go to California for daddy streaming. He keeps trying to get me to go to California.
I know, but to never go to California, like
never going to set foot in that state.
Why? To never even, not even as a tourist. I understand not wanting to live there because of taxes and politics, etc. But to never even vacation, I will say, I think one of the nicest places I've ever been to is San Diego.
So here's I think I said this before. The only reason I would go to California is to go to the San Diego Zoo. It's one of the largest zoos in the country, and it's got some of the like most intriguing like animals that you could find at some zoos.
But there's like a whole city around the zoo too.
Well, yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
I'd probably go around San Diego, like, but I just like wine country and stuff like that because like
Yeah.
they've got some nice places out there. But I wouldn't go anywhere South California. SoCal, no. I'd say like San Diego and like.
Well, San Diego is the southern tip of California.
That's what I'm saying. So I'd stay
Okay.
like there, and
Yeah.
like I wouldn't go further down than that because.
Well, like San Diego's like on the border with Mexico. So it's like once you go south of that, like you're in Mexico. You're in the
But is it the? Let me pull this up real
yeah.
quick.
Los Angeles is north of San Diego, not too far north, but then north of Los Angeles, I mean, you'll hit eventually like Santa Cruz and then the Bay Area.
Let me see here.
And then once you go north of the Bay Area, you got that weird part of
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, I would probably So okay, so I'd probably stay in that little area then. I probably wouldn't go. I wouldn't go anywhere to Los Angeles. I wouldn't go.
There's that really famous zoo in Los Angeles. What do they call it?
Hollywood.
No, Skid Row. You can go there and see all these different types of
Okay.
exotic animals and all different walks of life. Let me tell you, they just don't really want you to touch and interact with the exhibits. It gets kind of sketch. Don't go there after dark.
That's but yeah, I wouldn't have a reason. Like I'd probably go I'd probably go to Las Vegas before I go to California, but Las Vegas is just a bit different.
Yeah.
Um and so
Oh my
um
gosh, I didn't even know some of these gifs existed or like emotes in the chat.
yeah, I
Daddy
didn't
streaming
either.
with the JD
But
Vance.
but yeah, I'd probably go to Las Vegas. Like
Yeah.
I like it's actually fairly cheap to go there.
To go there,
You know?
yes, but to exist there is definitely not cheap.
Oh yeah,
That's one thing that we kind of like. I had been there once before we did our honeymoon there. Uh, it's extremely easy to spend more money than you are expecting to spend. Like every meal was easily $100+, no question.
that's another reason why I'm just
Yeah,
like
it's because it's a tourist trap at the same time.
yeah.
Once you're on the strip, especially if you're staying on the strip, like they know you're there, and so you're going to be
Yeah.
paying. Like there was a bar in the hotel casino we were staying in. Great, what was it called? Juniper? I think it was called Juniper. It was a very nice. It reminds me of a higher end version of Pascal's on the Denton Square. I don't know if
Yeah,
Pascal's is
yeah.
still there. That kind of vibe, though, right? Each drink minimum $45, and this
Oh
is
yeah.
one drink in like a martini glass.
When I went to uh Guardian Con and we were in Orlando, but it was like we stayed in an Airbnb. Where did we stay? Kissimmee. Kissimmee is where we were actually staying at. But we were pretty much like it was like a suburb of kind of like how where y'all live at is a suburb of Austin. So it's
Yeah,
similar to that to Orlando. And and we went to this bar and it was a super like it was like a medieval type bar. It's like it was super cool. Like the chairs were big, like they gave you leather books for the menus and everything. And dude, they had like a whole page just dedicated to just old fashions. And I got an old fashioned. And dude, I think that old fashioned was like $25, man. Like it was, and it wasn't great. Like I've had other old fashions that were cheaper and better, especially ones that are smoked old fashions at some
yeah.
restaurants. Like it wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty good.
Old
But yeah,
fashions they're not good for me. I'm never really my nights get a little wild when the old
yeah.
fashions get going.
Well, mine was Rumple Mints, but
Okay.
I cut that out because you remember back in those like
Yeah,
my
you loved Rumple Mints, and I never understood it because to me, I'm just like, this is medicine in like a
well,
bad way.
I kind of got like over it after my 21st birthday
Okay.
because remember when
Yeah.
Boston bought me like a
Yeah.
whole tray of Rumple Mints?
Yo. Okay. I don't feel bad asking this. Do you know? Obviously, like we don't interact with him. I don't know if you do, but is Boston still alive?
Yes, yes, he is.
Okay. I don't know how
He's
that guy is.
he's well, apparently I don't talk to him anymore, but apparently he slowed down on everything. Like
I love how you said everything. He slowed down on everything.
he's had multiple surgeries,
Yeah.
like dealt with heart issues, I think cancer, like all this other kind of stuff, and he's still here, which that's awesome. Like
That
I'm
is
glad.
awesome. Yes.
There's been other people though that I have not heard from. You remember Red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
know where he's at. Haven't heard from him. Last time that I actually saw him in Applebee's, he didn't even have a beer. He didn't
Mm.
have a shot. Like he slowed down way like big time on all of his drinking and everything. But I don't even know if he's still alive. Not saying that to be mean or anything, but I just don't.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was another guy that he started coming in there like towards the end of my tenure there. He started coming in. And this is when things started getting bad. Like people doing cocaine in the bathrooms. Like it was bad. And he was one of
Well,
those
do you
people.
remember that was it a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, when that lady basically died?
Yeah, on my first night bar shift ever. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that, and I
yeah,
was like, "I'm not sure I wanna do this anymore," because I thought I was about to get arrested, like, I was
yeah.
scared because she did die, like, they pronounced her like, she was dead for, like, 2 minutes, 2 like, something like that, but they brought her back, and I'm over here freaking out, having an existential crisis. Shane's just like, "Calm down. Gonna be okay. Just let's
Yeah,
just show them what they had to drink," and they didn't even finish the second round of drinks that Boston had bought them,
yeah.
but
Boston, see, Boston is in every story here, some way.
yeah, some way.
He would close down the joint and then open the joint,
Yeah,
and it's an
um
Applebee's, which is wild.
yeah, but this other guy though, he got 3 DWIs. They have banned him and let him back in there.
Well, it's like a
Um,
punch card. If you get your fifth one, you get a free drink.
I guess.
Yeah.
Um, this dude literally, I called it too. So this was like soon after COVID, like probably like 2021. Dude had COVID and pneumonia, was in the
Oh,
hospital. Like, I think they had him almost on life support. Like, that's how close he was.
yeah.
Dude got out of the hospital. I told everyone, I was like, I will bet every single person that's sitting at this bar right now that knows that man, I will bet each of you $20 that this is the first place he's gonna come and he's gonna order a Miller Lite pint. And what does he do? Comes in and orders a Miller Lite pint. And this dude was so skinny, but he put all that weight back on within a month, just all beer and alcohol. And he would, as most old bar regulars do, they would flirt with the young staff. And I'm surprised I didn't get into many fist fights during the last part of my tenure there, because there were some people there that were really antagonizing me, like as far as like, why are you still here? Like, get out. And I've had to cut him off, let him go. Um, and so yeah, it was, and he's still there. He's still alive. He's still drinking. They still do all kinds of drugs and everything. And Fluffy and them are still there. They're involved in it too. And I'm like,
Fluffy. I don't know if I remember Fluffy.
Josh Lopez.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glasses, goatee, bigger guy. He was a,
Probably, yeah.
he was a Cowboys fan. Hey,
Oh,
always
yeah.
always bring his 2 kids, his son and his daughter.
Yeah. Wait,
Yes.
y'all called him Fluffy?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard him be called Fluffy before. Interesting. That was also weird too. When people would bring their kids to go sit at the bar, I'm like, I don't know. Something about that Applebee's was like kind of mythical in a sense. It was like, first of all, there were regulars that went to an Applebee's. Like, and when I mean regular, like
Every
four,
night.
4 or 5 days out of the week.
At least the nights that I worked, like they were all there. And
Yeah.
but
They bring their
yeah,
kids and sit at the bar and
yeah.
just sit there and get drunk off dollar beers.
Eventually, when we got the new GM, he stopped all that. He was like, "Yeah, they're not allowed to sit at the bar anymore. Like they can't."
Yeah. It's a liability. It's just
Yeah,
like and it's just,
and
it looks weird for other people.
yeah, and so I would still wait on them. When they bring their kids, like they sit at a
Yeah.
bar top, and I still
Yeah.
wait
Yeah.
on them. They didn't have actually. Funny story. I wouldn't call them strippers, but man, I could tell some stories on here that are not kid friendly if any kid was to watch this episode. My God. But even Dallas, when he brought his 2 sons in there, so I recently reconnected with them. He doesn't drink anymore. He doesn't like he's married now, has a wife, and his son's now going to um, um airplane mechanic school, or like pilot mechanic, or like whatever, like mechanic school essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they're doing good. I mean, I've talked to them most recently, and they seem to be doing great. And we're gonna try to get together when he gets back in town from his 3 weeks that he's gonna be gone. Try to get together and stuff. But yeah, he's doing good.
Nice. Nice. Man, the wild thing is we could talk about Applebee's for hours and there would still be more to talk about. It's so hard trying to describe to people what that Applebee's was like.
Hey, dude.
Because when you think of like Applebee's, you think of like any other, fast casual chain restaurant. You think of like Chili's, you think of like, I don't know, Red Lobster, these other restaurants where they're kind of mundane. I'm not going to say like they're boring, but they're kind of mundane. But then like this one, there was just something, there was an aura around that. And there was like, and I think this happened even before you and I worked at this one, but like there's like classes of people who like graduate from there, but like they all go like, we remember there were things that like happened with like a set number of people, but then they all graduated, went off, and then a new group of people came in.
Yeah.
Like it was wild.
Well,
It was
it was also like an inheritance kind of thing too, because you were already there when I started working there. And I remember this too, because when I first started working there, nobody liked me, and I knew it too. Nobody liked me. They were like, "Who's this freaking guy coming in here?" And the next thing you know, I'm closing every single night of the week, making bukus of money and everything, and nobody liked me. And I was like, "All right, you know what? It is what it is. I don't even care." And Then I got into the bar, and I worked morning shifts on the weekends and stuff, so I didn't really have a lot of the regulars. But then when Allie still worked there, Kaylee, Patricia, Nate, all of them that were there, I think it was even Ashley as well, and there was like one more, I think, but they had all those regulars. Then one by one, they all started leaving, and so I was like, okay, cool, I'm getting bar shifts now and everything. And then I started inheriting all their regulars, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And because they never put a lid on it. And I'll be honest, Shane was the coolest bar manager that we'd ever had in that restaurant. But he also knew when to, step in and be like, hey, like, cut this off.
Yeah.
Apparently he's the bar manager over at they opened up an LSA location in the Colony.
I remember you telling me that, I think, at
Yeah.
one point. Yeah.
And he manages over there now too. I ran into him. I need to stop in there one day and just see if he's still there.
At least I don't have to work till 4:00 in the morning anymore. Like,
right.
We can at least like see his family.
Yeah. And but yeah, so like I inherited all of them, and then it was just a freaking madhouse, because I was like, why did I get left with all this BS? And it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked for a while. It sucked a lot of life out of me, but I ain't got to deal with that no more.
Yeah. Man, all right. So I'm kind of looking at the notes of the things we have going on. I know one thing. I don't know if we want to get it kicked off with this, but did you watch or pay any attention to the NFL draft this past
Very
week?
little.
Okay, same here. I didn't pay attention too much, but one thing that definitely stuck out to me. Did you follow the whole Shedeur Sanders nonsense with?
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. So you know what I'm about to dive into, but I want to give people a little bit of a setup of what happened here. So the NFL draft, kind of a king-making process for a lot of these college football players, because overnight they can go from, well, I say this, they make so much money in college now. So there's like, I don't even know if they're being made kings because they were already kings to begin with. Maybe they're going from part-time kings to full-time kings, going from making 1 million to 20 million. I don't know. I don't even know what the number one draft pick with their contracts even going to look like this year in terms of total dollar value.
I think most of the all the quarterbacks I think went in like the first round.
Yeah.
It was like the first and second round, I think, because every team needs a quarterback. Like almost every team needs a quarterback.
Yeah. So you had this player, Shedeur Sanders, in here. I'll throw it up so you can get a visual of who this guy is. He is the son of Deion Sanders. That name's probably a little more familiar to our casual football audience out there. And the reason I kind of brought this up is, where do I even start? His dad became the coach of University of Colorado, like, I don't know, was it 3 years ago? Almost 4 years ago at this point, I think. And, of course, he brought his son with him. Very confident, very cocky. Long story short, Colorado does pretty decent over the last couple of years, but I'm not going to say that they're like one of the best teams in the country. Like, you put them up against some of the other blue bloods, they're going to lose probably. Still good team though. Still top 25 team.
They'll put up a fight. They'll put up a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the story kind of starts with the end of this season with Shedeur and I forget the wide receiver that won the Heisman this past year. Both of them declared for the draft, so they know they're not going back to college. And University of Colorado retires both of their numbers, which is pretty wild and kind of unheard of in college football, because in college football, teams definitely retire numbers of successful players, regardless of if they get drafted or not. Just they could have been statistically one of the better players there. Maybe they did something culturally for the program, the community, something like that. But usually that takes a couple of years, if not a decade plus, before a school's like, yo, we're going to go retire your number. Kind of the same way with a Hall of Fame selection process. You definitely for sure have those like players that become first ballot Hall of Fame, but usually there's like a waiting period. You don't just immediately go into the Hall of Fame like right after you retire. There's like a holding period there before you can be even potentially selected. Yeah, Daddy Stream is saying Quinn Ewers, quarterback from Texas, turned down $8 million to go to the NFL and make less than $1 million, basically, which is kind of interesting. His I kind of want to talk about Quinn as well because the room that he had his draft party in, or where he was watching the draft from. Riley, did you see this at all? His
I think so. I
It
think I
was like,
saw a
I think it was
glimpse.
his living room, I think, but there were so many taxidermied animals on the wall. Like there was like 50 or 75 like taxidermy. Hang on. We're gonna find this.
Man knows how to survive. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I will just say this though. I can tell you like why they're retiring. Like if his number is one of the ones that they're retiring, I can tell you why. It's because of his dad.
yes.
It has nothing to do with him. Like, and
Oh,
I
for
hate
sure.
saying that. He was a good player. Was he a great player? No, he probably could have gone anywhere else, but I think he went to Colorado purposefully because of his dad and being in close proximity to his dad. And his dad had a lot of pull with the college.
I mean, he's
So,
Deion Sanders. He's kind of a, not only is he a legendary player, he's becoming a legendary coach in his own right.
let me see if I can find. Go ahead and talk about what you're going to talk about. Let's see if I can find this real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Shedeur Sanders here in a second, but one thing I'm actually realizing for the first time, re-looking at this image of Quinn Ewers, former University of Texas quarterback, while he's watching the NFL draft, is okay. So we see the taxidermied animals behind them, right? Like there's a bunch, kind of cool. All the different varieties. You got deer, buffalo, caribou, moose, elk, something like that. Pronghorn. Who knows? Whole bear. There's a bear back there. It looks like. Look in the top right. I didn't even see this. That's a dinosaur skull. This is like that's a T-Rex sitting up there or something.
That's lit. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But I love how the caption, it looks like Quinn Ewers is living inside a Cabela store. So anyways, this is in Chico, Texas, which that kind of makes sense. Chico's a small town, right? Is that in South Texas?
Chico, Texas.
Yeah. I brought up Google Earth here. Hang on. Chico sounds familiar. Is that in South Texas? No, that's not in South Texas. That's in North Texas. They have a Dollar General. Shout out.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I was like, that name sounds familiar, but yeah, it's over in Wise County.
Yep.
That's not that far from me. Cool. He didn't actually live that far from me.
Riley, you could have been the quarterback of the University of Texas. What have you been doing with your life, sir?
I was always better as a defensive back. I could not. Like I could throw a football, but dude, compared to some of these guys, man, I could not throw a football like that.
I'm willing to bet if you have any kind of money whatsoever and live in Chico, you are probably involved in the quarry business. Because I'm looking. So Chico itself, very small town. The actual it's 1.5 square miles, like the actual town. But the quarries that sit just south of town are like 4 or 5x the size of Chico itself. I'm assuming these are quarries. Yep, they are quarries. Yeah. I don't know what they're getting. What kind of stone? Asphalt companies, potentially. Anyways, but I do see they have a Dollar General, so I know they're doing relatively okay. They have a donut shop. Let's look at Chico Donuts. I'm sure it's a lovely establishment. Yeah, this looks good. They got Chico Mart. What do you think the Chico Mart looks like?
That. Yep. Exactly that.
That looks. Let's see what else they got. Pablo's Mexican restaurant. Shout out to Pablo's. Looks like we got some.
I'm gonna be honest. Go over to the right. Go over to the right. The fajitas.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. That looks like the most unseasoned fajita meat that I've ever seen in my life.
It's called the Chico Special, man. Are you disrespecting the Chico's fajitas?
No. By all means, don't come. Murder me in my sleep. Or by all means, don't come give me free fajitas so that I can. You can prove me wrong. But
what's kind of interesting is you can tell this has changed hands as a Mexican restaurant probably a couple times, because we know we're looking at Pablo's Mexican restaurant. We can see that in the top left. I clicked on Pablo's, but also you have Julio's Mexican restaurant in the photos. So at one point it was probably Julio's. Now it's Pablo's. Okay. I don't know if Julio Pablo is the same guy or brothers.
Maybe.
We got Chico City Hall here. They don't even have any images. They have an auto parts and service store. These are the businesses. These are the community staples of Chico.
Everything's moving out those ways though. Like that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, but it's got a while to move out this way. Because you got to hit Decatur first, right?
Yeah, and Decatur's just now like Decatur's not even blowing up, but it's getting closer and closer with all the work that they're doing on 380 and
Yeah.
then to get out there and then.
Yeah. They can do better on their football stadium. I like to sometimes just browse. Do you ever just randomly browse Google Maps or like Google Earth and just look at small towns and just see what it's like out there?
Sometimes.
Oh, they got a James Wood. That's interesting.
It's trash. James Wood is trash. I hope they hear me say that.
This episode of Unscripted Company is brought to you by James Wood. Go to jameswood.com/unscripted and you can lease a new Chevy Silverado 4x4 for $5,000 a month. Use promo code unscripted at checkout. Anyways, you were going to say something earlier.
Yeah,
I just went on this, and I'll get back to Shedeur Sanders here in a little bit.
You're good. Well, this actually leads into that though, and I think this is just like whether you believe in karma, whether you believe in God, this is definitely an interesting take here because back in 2018, Deion Sanders tweeted a very interesting tweet that has seemed to have resurfaced in the faces of himself and just what people have brought up. I love what the Browns have done this offseason, but if I'm a young QB, ain't no way I'm going to Cleveland. I would pull an Eli Manning if possible.
Spoiler alert for those of you who don't get the joke there. Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, who was the guy that tweeted that, or Deion Sanders tweeted that, his son just got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but he wasn't even the first quarterback drafted by the Cleveland Browns this year.
He was the second quarterback that was drafted by the Cleveland Browns.
Also, have you seen the quarterback room for the Cleveland Browns? They have, it's like Joe Flacco's there. Oh, hang on. It's
but the fact of the matter remains is like it's bad. Like here's the thing. I'm not saying Cleveland is a straight like they used to be an awful team. They've actually had a couple pretty good seasons within the last like decade. At least a couple good seasons. But to not be the first person drafted by the Cleveland Browns and to be the second quarterback drafted by the Cleveland Browns, like now they have 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, and now Shedeur Sanders. Like there's no way Shedeur is starting.
No. But also too, keep in mind, when they like for those of you who don't understand, like maybe not understand sports, at least football and basketball. With basketball, if you get drafted and you're not that good of a player, they send you down to the G League. So that means you don't start. You're not even a secondary or third string. You go down to the G League, or you are on the third string. Usually they have enough players to have a starters, a bench, and then another bench as well in case injuries happen. So you have a 3 depth chart, if I'm not mistaken. With football, if you get drafted, you got drafted to go play for that team. But there's also a date by which you have to have 56 players confirmed and rostered on your team, which means that if you draft all these players and you're sitting at like, I don't know, 70 players, 75 players, give or take, and that are all coming into your training camps, and because training camp hasn't even started yet. That starts this summer. It starts in like a month and a half from now.
And you can still get cut throughout that whole process.
But if you make it through all of that, there comes a certain date that I think it's like a week or 2 before the first preseason game starts. You have to cut whatever players you're going to cut to make your budget because you have to hit your cap. And once you hit your cap, if you can't afford it, and it makes sense for you to cut that person, you'll cut them. So even though he got drafted there, there's no guarantee he's actually going to be staying on that team because how many teams do you know of that have 3 or more quarterbacks?
Especially quarterbacks like just name recognition alone. I know Deshaun Watson, he had some like controversy recently, didn't he, or something about that? Yeah. Anyways.
That was back when he was with Houston, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, I know Joe Flacco is getting up there in age, but like just the fact that you have Flacco and Deshaun Watson already, plus you drafted the other guy's name who I already blanked on, Dylan Gabriel, who's also 24 years old. And you got Kenny Pickett. I don't know too much about Kenny Pickett. I recognize the name, but he's also 26, so recently drafted a couple years ago. Just the fact that you have Flacco and Deshaun Watson, like I think I'm willing to bet they just got Shedeur Sanders just for the PR piece. They don't they're just like, hey, we got him. Put a couple tweets out there. Good to go.
And the thing is, there's really no other teams for him to go to. The only other team that I could even remotely think of. Um, I don't even know if it's even this team, but the only team I could think of, because you have to think we drafted a running back. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking at the Cowboys draft picks. We had
They
9
got
running
like an
backs.
offensive lineman, right? I remember
We
seeing
got
that.
an offensive tackle, which that was a good pickup. We needed that. But I'm also excited about who was it that we got? Jay Toya, because we needed another a defensive tackle, and we actually got 2 defensive tackles, but we got some help now for Micah Parsons because he's been needing some help big time, and so now we got some help. But again, be that as it may, the big story about Shedeur Sanders is the fact that he got drafted as late as he did. There's no guarantee he's going to be playing with the team. Like,
And
he'll
he
go there.
was a lot of people were hyping him to be drafted first, second, third pick, not
Oh yeah,
round. Like people were like, "Oh yeah, he'll probably get like he'll be the first quarterback drafted
yeah.
potentially." And he just kept dropping lower and lower and lower. Did you see the prank call that happened on him?
No.
Yo, okay, so I had this pulled up. So this is kind of a big deal. So Shedeur Sanders got a new phone number that he only gave a phone number to all of the NFL uh, team personnel, anyone that basically would call him on draft night. He had a new line set up specifically for that. So that way, if that phone line rings, you know immediately, like, hey, this is a call you have to answer because
Yeah.
it's not a random number that's just kind of sitting out there, right? Well, let me play you a video. He gets a phone call that is someone pranking him that got a hold of this number. At the time that I first heard about this and saw it, no one knew how they got the phone number, but it looks like it was a kid of one of I think the GM or one of the executives at the Atlanta Falcons.
That's wild.
Yeah, and so more news is still coming out about this, so we'll probably know more over the coming days. Let me read this real quick, and I'll play you the video because we have the video from Shedeur Sanders' house, and then we have the video from the actual pranksters themselves. So you see the full event of what happens here. But the story says the Atlanta Falcons say the prank call on Shedeur Sanders was pulled off by the son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. According to a new statement by the Falcons, Ulbrich's 21-year-old son, Jax, quote unquote, unintentionally came across the number. The team says Jax unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number that he saw on an open iPad while he was visiting his parents, according to NBC Sports. Jax then wrote down the number for a prank call. The Falcons say Jeff Ulbrich was not aware of what his son was planning. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, the statement said. The Falcons say they have apologized to Sanders and also facilitated an apology from Jax to Sanders. So here, let me play this real quick.
That's wild.
Yeah. So the video on the left is from Sanders' house, and then on the right is the pranksters here.
I can't hear it.
Let me make sure I get the audio. There you go.
Hey, is this Shedeur? This is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
It's ain't gonna be nothing to it.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
What does that mean? What? What did he say? I don't know. How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone? You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that. What the fuck?
Oh, dude, I feel so bad for him, man.
They called him and they were like, yo, we're going to take you with the next pick, but you're going to have to wait a little longer.
Like, I don't want to laugh, but dude, that because here's the thing. First of all, if I was that defensive coordinator, like, or if I was the owner of that team, I would fire that defensive coordinator. 100%. You should not. First of all, what do you think in leaving your iPad open with sensitive information on it that your son people need to expect, like, I'll be honest, parents need to lower their expectations when it comes to their kids. and what their kids are like. Keep your expectations high for what they could achieve, but lower your expectations for what you think that your kids are capable of as far as doing stuff like this. Because and straight up, like, he could sue them, like, he could, like,
Yeah.
that. And I know that's petty, but it's like, at the end of the day, man, it's like, this is your career. Like, meanwhile, a kid who hasn't even started his life yet, probably still living under, mommy and daddy's money, is just doing all stuff. Like, man, I'd be mad. I'd be real mad. But he seemed to have kept his composure after it. I mean, yeah, he still got drafted. And here's the thing: even if he doesn't stay with Cleveland, if he has stats to back up how he plays, hopefully he'll get a chance with a team, even as a backup. Hopefully he'll get a chance with a team, because you also have preseason too. That's also too, like, they're gonna make the final cuts before preseason starts, and then they're gonna make more decisions as preseason's going on. So he'll get his shot to play. It's just a matter of what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so will be that they do the absolute most. See, here's the thing. I know your kids, Jay, and your kids are very outgoing. Even Caden, as much as he seems to be very shy, they're very outgoing. So, but as far as like older kids, man, some of these older kids, man, some parents need to put a tighter, leash on their kids when it comes to what their kids do when they're not around. Prime example.
Talking about parents and what their kids do when they're not around. Are you excited for sperm racing?
Come again?
Everything big always starts small.
Yo, kid is in the jungle.
This is the world's first ever sperm race. This is Asher from UCLA versus Tristan from
Hold up. Wait a minute. What was in that bottle that he drank for a second there?
on microscopic racetrack. The battle for whose sperm is the healthiest, the fastest, and the tastiest. Whose swimmers will win the race?
I feel like
Versus UCLA.
we are going to put an 18 plus on this one. What did I just watch?
So this was a real thing. I don't know if you caught the date. It said April 25th. It actually occurred already.
Well, who won?
Let me get you a follow-up on that one. I saw a little bit of the video of what it was.
Oh my gosh, this is wild.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me throw this up so we can get a visual. It's not as bad as what you're thinking it's going to look like here.
Yes.
2, 1.
Oh shit! They're going.
So they literally have sperm under a microscope, and they're watching it race in a predetermined track. And so we're literally watching it race. This is also apparently the world's first time this has ever happened.
Who is that?
The feminists.
They will never know because they never turned into real kids.
Oh God! Those swimmers aren't even on the screen. This is
Dude, that one is Zoom, and he's like, I'm getting there.
It is,
Get in
man.
there.
Dang!
No!
What's wild is I think there's kind of a future in this.
Jimmy!
This is like oddly entertaining. I could see this
Unbelievable!
being a thing.
He came prepared.
What the fuck?
Insemination!
Bro, he came prepared.
CCP! 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 I believe that you're not, Jimmy.
Don't ask
No, God, no.
Don't ask me what that last little bit was. I have no idea.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's hit that Control Alt Reset on this.
Okay, I can do that. Here, let me throw a fun hypothetical your way. Let me give you. I didn't ask you ahead of time. Do you have a question of the week?
I do have
Okay.
a question.
Okay, cool. Let me give you a question of the week, and then you can follow up with that question of the week. How about that?
Okay.
Here's a question of the week. What if AEW wanted to really throw a record in the books? So I threw up a visual here. For those of you who may not be aware, John Cena at WrestleMania most recently has now broken Ric Flair's record of Right? Or has he tied it? Has he tied it or has he broken it?
No, he broke it.
He broke the
yeah.
record, at least what's on record, of the most world titles held by someone like a Ric Flair, basically, in this case. So what if AEW had Ric Flair win their world championship?
That wouldn't count though. So because here's the thing. First of all, Daddy Streaming, the epitome of unscripted. Absolutely. I did not see that coming. No pun intended. And so because people are still saying, there's some people nowadays that say how Ric Flair actually still has the most world championships because
he had a couple that weren't officially on the record,
like
but it would have been
WWF and stuff like that. So like they're not counting all of those.
There's been a couple where like the title change happened in a day. He lost it and got it back in a day because he had one match, and I forget who he was wrestling. I think he was down in Puerto Rico, where there were legitimate threats on his life, and this is like back in I think the 70s.
Yeah, it was some time ago.
Where basically, if he didn't drop the title that day, he wasn't going to get out of the country that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like this was back when things got heated because things were still perceived as real.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, so they didn't recognize some of those championship wins or whatever. So essentially he had 16. You can't really recognize this championship. Now, he could go to AEW and, they could have him win it, lose it in a month, have him win it, lose it in a month, have him win it, lose it. And like he could build a record by doing that. And then theoretically speaking, you could just have John Cena go over there and do the same thing. But I feel like here's the thing: Ric Flair needs to stop Ric Flairing. He needs to just be done. His record was beaten. Records are made to be broken. And the reason why John Cena broke the record is because eventually someone's going to break his record. I'll be honest. Do I think it's going to be Randy Orton? I don't know. I think Randy Orton's just doing it for the fun of it now. He's not even doing it to actually win anything. And I don't foresee him winning against John Cena at Backlash because the match has been set officially. They're wrestling at Backlash.
Have you heard the theory about how that match is going to go down?
I think, yeah, he's going to slap the referee, same as what Randy Orton did.
Exactly.
That would here's the thing. Randy Orton has actually become one of my more favorite wrestlers now. Like, I mean, he was always like, I enjoyed him, but they do such a good job at making you believe they're a heel that you're like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
John Cena, I'll be honest, someone actually had this idea here that instead of having John Cena turn heel when he did, was wait until the night of WrestleMania. Like, so he shakes Cody Rhodes' hand, all this other kind of stuff. Then on WrestleMania, on night 2, The Rock comes out and offers him one last chance at joining him, and he says no, and then John Cena cheats or whatever, and he wins the title that way. That would have played it a lot better, I feel, because I'll be honest, I'm not really sold on his
Nobody is. There's not that many people that are.
Yeah, because you can't be a semi heel and then a baby face and then a straight up face for so many years through all that stuff, and then now all of a sudden you're pretty much back to where you were during your Doctor of Thugonomics days, where you kind of insulted people essentially.
Yeah,
like nobody believes that he's like where he's at now. The promo that when him and Randy Orton were in the ring on Monday, or was it Monday or Friday? Can't remember what day. I think it was Friday. But when they were in the ring together, man, that promo was so good. Like Randy Orton and him did it so well together. But I don't think Randy Orton's gonna win. What about children? He's like, have some dang kids, and he's like, no. Which him being his age, like, I wouldn't have kids at that age either. Like, you got too much stuff to focus on. Like, I wouldn't have kids at that age either. But I don't think he's gonna win. I think it is gonna set up a good feud, for the foreseeable future. Especially if they decide to have like that potential pay-per-view named the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view and all that. But yeah, I don't foresee that happening. Again, nobody's sold on his yeah, there's 2 of them. Like
that was a good setup.
It was.
Good setup.
And but I don't know. I think again, his heel turn just doesn't feel like a heel turn. it kind of feels lackluster because it's like you waited until his last year of his career to do the heel turn, and now it's just like whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Randy Orton's just having fun with it. I enjoy his character now. Dude got beefed up like really freaking quick too. Like when he came back, like dude was like jacked, and I'm like, I want to be like that when I grow up. You know, like I don't want to be like super super jacked, but I want to be like that. Like that'd be cool. But he just, I don't know what he did, man. But after having his back surgery and everything, he put the work in, and he came back, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So you said you had a question for me, right?
Oh no, that was the question. Is what if AEW puts a world heavyweight
Oh, that
championship
okay.
on?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I don't think they should. I really don't think they should, man. Like that's so dumb. Like they're trying to do everything they can to bring these old guys out of like it's like, dude, he's 70 years old. Let him like stay retired.
No, he's not even 70. He's older than that, isn't he?
He's in his 80s then.
76.
Okay, yeah, so he is in his 70s then.
Born in 1949.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude's been wrestling since World War II was over.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they should do it. I think that's just a money grab, and he should just not. All these old guys just need to stay retired because there's like he's gonna have a heart attack in the wrestling ring. Like he's just not. It's not gonna be good. So my question is, I actually had two questions. I'm struggling which one to go with, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with the other one next week. What if the sensation of forgetting what you were doing is because the simulation had to reboot your character?
I question that quite often. Maybe not so much as rebooting the character, but something is going on there. And I think whatever that is, it's very eerily similar to deja vu. And I don't know how best to describe that, but there definitely is something going on there. I'm not as far as to go to say it's like the Matrix, but something in the ether is definitely going on there. What do you think?
I mean, very similar, yes, but I think of it also too as like it's so very hard to kind of like in certain cases distinguish the two because so many people think it's a simulation, and then obviously me being of the faith, I think it's just more so like that wasn't important enough for you to worry about, so God's just like, hey, forget about that, like just don't worry about what you were just doing then. It's like he just kind of, but the thing is that kind of defeats God's purpose because it's a free will aspect, so why would he intentionally make you forget about something? I think if it's not important enough, it didn't matter.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's like programmatic design, so it's not as much a simulation as it is, nature is a program, the same way we think of as a computer as a program.
Yeah.
Because I also wonder, like, have you ever found yourself driving on a highway and you zone out and you zone back in? You're like, hold on a second, I've been driving on this highway for a while.
Dude.
You haven't been like actively thinking about driving on the highway?
Oh God, yes. So like that's been happening to me a lot more recently.
You should talk to your doctor about that, first of all. Second of all, no, I mean,
no.
Yeah.
No. I don't trust doctors with my general health anymore. Not since last year with my neck and my back. Screw that crap. No, that has actually happened to me a lot more lately. Not recently, but there are times where it's just like I'll go to do a showing and it's like an hour away, and it's like I'm focused on the showing as I'm going there, kind of just doing my own thing, whatever. But then on the way back, it's like I'm not even thinking, and then before I know it, I've already like driven like 15 miles, and I'm still on the same highway because 35. I'm still on the same highway. But I'm nowhere near, I'm nowhere near where I was, but it's like, I just I wasn't even thinking. It's just like, I got here so quick, or it felt like I got here super quick, but I just wasn't paying attention enough. And I think it kind of goes like that adage, like time flies when you're having fun, but I'm driving on 35. I'm not having fun. It's not fun at all. So I zone out, I guess. But yeah, that happens though. Like, I just have those times where it's just like, I'm not thinking about a lot, Like I'm just driving, and I don't know if it's because it's a second nature kind of thing, but I'm just
probably
driving.
Has something to do with it. Yeah. Probably has something.
Well, I don't know. I don't think this happened then, but it was funny because so I got I got into a car accident about 2 weeks ago, give or take.
I think you're telling me about that. Yeah, but like thankfully there was no damage.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
damage to my car or nothing, and
Yeah.
like I wasn't like zoned out, but it happened so quick that I just didn't expect it to, and funny enough is like I think I know where that person lives at because I could have swore I saw where like because I lost them, but then I saw like I turned looking down this road just randomly and I saw their car driving and I was like, I bet I know where you live. I can come find you, but I was like, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
At that point, there's no damage to my car. I'm good.
Are they in Chico, Texas?
No,
No.
but it wouldn't be that hard to find them if they were. It's like
Yeah.
it's like 50 square miles, not even that.
Yeah. You could take 380 out there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was that. I think it's programming, you know, like God intentionally made us like that because if it's not something that is important in that moment, then it wasn't important to begin with, and it's not going to do anything to further your progression of life or where it is that he's taking you. That could be, you know, a lot of it too, because he already knows what's going to happen before it even happens. And so it's like, if that happens, then, or it could just be my brain's messed up. And I don't know, just like part of the population has that voice in their head. The other percentage doesn't. I'm that percentage that does. I have that voice in my head. What that voice is, again, there's usually one of three voices. It's yourself, it's God, and it's the enemy. So it's, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. And so who knows? Maybe I'm just having conversations with myself.
Yeah. Could be. What do you got on your list? I know
a lot.
Yeah. Is there one you want to hit on though? I know I kind of like hijacked the first part, but
no, you're good. So God, I really don't know. The Pope died.
He did.
The Pope died.
He knows the true answer now.
Yeah. So I was at the gym working out and I just happened to look up on the TV and every freaking channel besides the channel that had whatever that one show with the three witches was on it. I can't remember the show.
Hocus Pocus.
Charmed, that show.
Okay.
Yeah. There was like, that was like the only TV that had that on there. Everything else was like the Pope died. And I was like, okay. Yeah, he, how old was he when he died? He was
like 82, 84. 1,000.
It might as well be, dude.
He had that Latin blood.
I guess so.
It's Pope Francis, right?
Yeah, Pope Francis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the process of selecting the new pope always intrigued me. I remember waiting for the smoke as a kid. Every time, whenever, like, I don't say every time, but it's like when I think of them selecting the new pope, the thought of that movie Euro Trip just hit my mind.
Oh my goodness.
Where like,
yeah,
one thing happened and they're like, the Pope is dead, and then like 10 minutes later they ring the bell, they've selected a new pope.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll reference that movie a couple of times, honestly, and not that many people I know of these days have actually remembered or have seen that movie. That was a movie I watched probably too young. Shouldn't have watched it at the age I did.
Yeah. It was that one and Road Trip and Euro Trip too. And then you pair that with American Pie. I probably should not have watched those at the age that I did.
Yeah.
Even the Harold and Kumar movies, I should have watched. It was bad. I blame partially my brother for that because he had the movies and he was like, "Hey, you want to watch this?" And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Yeah, he was in his 80s though, I think, when he died. I guess it was just old age. They didn't really say anything as far as like if it was, you know, something that caused it or whatever, but maybe it was just old age.
Yeah.
But yeah, so not really much to talk about on that. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know much about the Pope. The running conspiracy theory was that the Pope actually ran everything in the world behind the scenes. Like he controlled everything.
Well, the whole thing also was, J.D. Vance was one of the last people to meet with him. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh,
Google,
God.
Yeah, Google J.D. Vance Pope.
Trump is now, he's like, it's all coming together.
No, yeah, it was kind of a whole joke. People made memes out of it. Here, let me throw this up here. Just a quick search on X.
Let's see here. What if it was like the interview and he had like the thing of ricin on his hand? He went in to shake his hand and it just.
Yep. JD Vance was one of the last people to meet him before.
Dude, that's so crazy. How long before that? How long? Like when he died?
Less than 24 hours.
Dude, it was the ricin. It was the ricin. The CIA is gonna knock at my door now.
Yeah.
Look at that right there. There it is. You're right there. He shook his hand. Right there.
So yeah.
Now here's my thing about the Pope though, because like go back up to that post real quick. Not to get super heavily spiritual. I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. They loved the Pope. They, instead of loving God, because the Pope essentially worships God at the end of the day. I don't know all the intricacies of the Pope and the aspects of all that, which it is sad that he died. I don't know the intricacies of all that, but they seem to worship the Pope more than they worshiped God himself. I don't really know, again, the significance of the Pope. And please, if anyone out there, please educate me on that. But that's just my thing. That one right there.
The power of AI these days, man.
Yeah, we can talk. I was like, we can talk about that, and then we can just start hitting, I guess, down the list of many things that I have.
Yeah. So some news came out this past week at Yellowstone National Park. Geoscientists have discovered a magma cap at Yellowstone National Park that is likely playing a critical role in preventing a massive eruption in one of the largest active volcanic systems in the world. The cap is made of molten silicate materials and supercritical water, a liquid-like gas that forms after water exceeds its critical point of 374 degrees Celsius, and porous rock. It is located about 2.4 miles below the Earth's surface and essentially acts as a lid, trapping pressure and heat below it, according to a team of researchers who uncovered it. The scientists found the cap by using a 53,000-pound vibrosis truck, a device capable of injecting low-frequency vibrations into the Earth to study the geology of the volcanic system. So, long story short, this thing's keeping everyone alive right now. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Alive.
You alive?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah?
Is you all right?
Abby's around the corner right now. She's yeah.
Dang, I have to get really far to even have my hair.
Oh, yeah. See there? Yep. There. Yep. A little closer. Almost there. Hey. Yep.
It's like talking to a dinosaur.
It is like talking to a dinosaur. See? Hi. See, there you are.
Hello. How are you feeling?
It says hello. How are you feeling?
Yep.
No response.
No response. Well, we hope you feel better. Getting sick, especially when it's hot, is not fun.
Yeah. He says he hopes you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come say hi.
Oh, that's fine.
And ask the very important question.
Yeah.
If you could go to North Korea, would you?
Yes. I would. Are you wanting that on here?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting.
Okay. Riley, here's your question. Here's your random question. Okay. Abby wants to know, if you could go to North Korea, would you? Let's assume as a tourist, right? Because they do those weird, obscure tourist things. They don't really let Americans go. You kind of have to go in through.
A bunch of different channels.
As like a Canadian or like a Brit or something like that. But yeah,
dude, I'll be honest. Like I'd be scared to go. Like there's like all these people that go to all these different countries and they get stuck there. Like all these different things that happen. Like I'd be terrified to go. So
he said he'd be terrified to go.
But would you?
It's water.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I would. I'll be honest.
Okay, it is water.
I don't know. Like, that's a very hard question because, man, North Korea be tripping on some stuff.
Here, put this on for a second.
Hi, Riley. I can
Hello.
actually hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Not that you can see me.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go. North Korea, Daddy streaming. We can't let Riley go to North Korea before Los Angeles. Yes, we can. You know what? Because of that comment, I'll go to North Korea before I go to Los Angeles.
I mean, you at least have more of a likelihood of coming back alive if you go to Los Angeles.
Big facts. Big facts.
Very big facts and very real. So, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I asked my Chinese coworkers that, and they just kind of stared at me.
I think it'd be a fun experiment to do. I would mind my P's and Q's, like for sure. I would not step out of line, but North Korea is very interesting. I would love to go see Pyongyang, the capital city.
Yeah.
I don't know. I grew up watching all the
fake fruit.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Viceland documentaries they did back in the day?
No.
Oh, it's really interesting. It shows like 30 people just in a room on computers, but they're all just sitting there like kind of cluelessly clicking around on a single page. And there's one dude who has more than like one tab open, and it looks like he's going over like past newspapers. And of course, that's the one dude that they talk to. And even then, it looks like he's not doing anything important, and he looks hella nervous. So it was definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like I'd be a James Franco.
I don't know if you want to go over there as James Franco.
They probably
from the interview.
Yeah, from the movie, the interview. Yeah,
I love that movie. It's so bad, but it's so good.
I'll walk around with a boombox. Baby, you're a firework. Go and show 'em what you're worth.
He said he's just gonna walk around with a boombox and play Fireworks by Katy Perry, since they do that in the movie.
That's one way you do it.
Are you just crashing with the tank and asking to play basketball with some McDonald's?
Yeah. You'll never hear from me again after that point.
Oh, definitely not. You'd get sent back in a vegetative state.
Our dear leader does love basketball, though.
I mean, I guess.
Well, he's best friends with Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman's been over there more times than any other American.
Okay, so funny enough, my CEO of the last company I worked for,
he
was friends with a guy that was friends with Dennis Rodman, whatever his name is.
That makes sense.
And his friend had actually gone to North Korea.
That makes sense.
And he said it was really weird, but I mean,
I would go for the oddity. It's not because, I don't know, I'm not going to be the great liberator of North Korea. It's more of a, it sounds dark saying it this way, but I mean, it's a little bit like Riley, you know why you wanted to go to California? I'm not going to say it out loud to verbalize it. The same reason you go to California, I'd go to North Korea.
Okay. now North Koreans who watch this video are just gonna go like they're gonna scrub back and like, what did he say about Los Angeles? They know exactly the reason why you'd go to North Korea.
So I'm just concerned if we do have any North Korean people watching this.
No,
there's no way in hell.
No.
They can't even access Rumble in China. It's part of the Great Wall block.
We know all the different countries of people that watch us. And a good majority of them are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast.
Fucking subscribe. Anyways, I'm sure that helped tremendously. I would also like to say, Mackenzie's mom, if you're on here, I did not just say that. Sorry.
No.
It is Unscripted Company.
Well, I'm just making sure my best friend's mom is not watching this.
I don't know.
We don't know who's watching right now. We just have 9 people watching right now.
Welp. I'll be in trouble later.
Until they comment, we don't know who's watching.
I will be in trouble for sure later.
Yeah, it's okay.
Could have done worse things.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to come say hi.
That's fine.
I was taking a break from reading.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You're always welcome to say hi.
Okay. Oh, they're doing Rickroll comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, here you go, babe.
Anyways.
I'm going back to reading my set.
Okay.
And getting my phone.
Yeah. Being as awkward about it as possible.
It's all good. So yeah, you were saying on the
Cause trouble.
She's just standing on the other side of the monitors, just staring at me right now. For context, so like I'm in like a bedroom sized room, desk, obviously, wall.
Yeah.
And she's just on the other side of here,
Yeah.
just staring and now laughing.
Yes, special guests are something we do enjoy doing from time to time. The original plan for tonight, for those of you who didn't know, the original plan was for us to have our wives on here as, I guess, viewers, whatever, you know, they were going to have their headsets. We were going to be talking about whatever. And then if they had a comment to make, cool. But my co-host here, his wife was feeling under the weather. So we decided to pivot. So for the next live stream, just to go ahead and make this announcement, we'll make it again at the end. But for the next
John
live
Cena is
stream,
going to be joining the next live stream. It's going to be crazy.
Sorry.
Okay. Hold on a second. I know no one outside of myself just experienced this. So Abby's still in the room. There's a closet in this room. She literally went in the closet. I don't know what she's actually doing in there, but I yelled the John Cena thing. Riley goes dun 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 dun. At the exact amount of time of the pause happens, and then Abby goes dun 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 dun. So, anyways, please continue. You were about to say that John Cena was going to join us on the next live stream.
Yes. So, John Cena, if you're out there, we would definitely love to have you on the podcast. Talk more about your heel turn. We don't have a lot of viewership, but hey, we got something, and we're here to talk about it. But we are planning for episode 70 for our next live stream. We are planning.
That would be episode 70. Yeah, we are planning to have John Cena. I'm glad we're all on board with this.
We are going to have one with our significant others on where they will have their headsets or whatever, and they would just be hanging out, chilling, whatever, and kind of go from there. So that is the plan for the next one. We'll just kind of go from there. But
we're about to have another special guest, by the way.
Kitty Cat.
Yep.
Kitty Cat.
You want me to grab him or what?
See, you're a lot more generous than I am. I would not have my cats in here with us.
Yeah, I usually don't either. She just brought him in, so.
Yeah, so this is what y'all get. Unscripted Company cats.
Yep. This cat's gonna get some more subscribers than you and I ever have, probably.
Probably, yeah.
We can do
the lore of Wampus.
Oh yeah, so this is Wampus. The lure of Wampus. Wampus has a lot of lure. He's probably very confused right now.
He's 100% confused, and he looks like he wants to attack.
But you know what, Riley? I think to actually help increase viewership on the podcast, maybe next episode, we just your webcam, you can put it on Luna, and my webcam, I'll just put this on Wampus, and we'll just let it roll. We don't even have to be there, and we'll get more subscribers than
probably. We could do an episode where we do have our cats like free roaming around and just let our cats just do their thing. Because I know my oldest cat would come in here and she would jump up in my lap and she would chill here until I stopped giving her attention. Then she would jump down, walk away, then come back for more attention.
Exactly. Sorry, you're getting ready to tell the people though. Episode 70, the next live stream, John Cena will be our special guest.
Yes.
We'll also have the wives on, but John Cena will be. You won't be able to see him, but he'll be there. Don't worry.
Yes, he will be there. Did you have anything else on the Yellowstone?
Not really. The only update I had in Yellowstone was they found this pocket that's keeping us all alive.
Fair enough. Cool. So let's keep that going because we don't want to die.
Yeah.
Well, I have like 5 other things. Technically, 2 of the things are one thing, but I'll be honest. Some of this is kind of depressing. To be honest.
Let's rip the Band-Aid. What's the most depressing on that list? Let's go straight head on into the most depressing one. And I will make it a positive situation.
Texas commissioner survived stabbing and husband was killed in home attack.
Yeah, that's positive. They didn't die.
Well, the husband did.
He's in a better place now.
Yes.
I'm
I don't know her personally, but I'm pretty sure I have her as a friend on Facebook. But she survived the stabbing and her husband was unfortunately killed in this, but their grandson was the one who did it. So the commissioner was stabbed and her husband was killed at their home early Monday, and their grandson was charged in the slaying.
Oh.
Bobby J. Mitchell and her husband, Fred Mitchell, were found wounded just before 4 a.m. inside their home in Louisville, where she served as the city's first black mayor, according to the Denton County Sheriff's Office. The Republican lawmaker, 76, was taken to the hospital in stable condition, while her husband, 75, was pronounced dead about 1 hour after the attack, the police
Her
said.
grandson did
The
it?
23-year-old grandson, Mitchell Blake Raynacher, was found at the scene and was charged with murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is being held at the Louisville jail. Commissioner Mitchell has spent years supporting residents of Denton County. Now her family needs our prayers and compassion. I stand ready to assist in any way needed. This is the person who wrote the article. The couple has 9 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren, according to Mitchell's bio on the Denton County Commissioner's website. Bobby Mitchell previously served on Louisville City Council before becoming the city mayor in 1993. She resigned as mayor in 2000 and successfully ran for county commissioner and has represented the county precinct 3 ever since. State Rep Jared Peterson, who represents nearby Frisco, posted a statement of support on X, calling Mitchell's Denton County's most beloved public servant. He urged the community to pray for her as she attempts to recover from this attack while mourning the death of her husband, Fred. Yeah, very, very sad. It was unexpected. Like, I woke up and saw like posts all over about this, and I was like, dude, like that is insane.
I can't believe you bring such depressing news. I don't know why you.
I don't know why I'm always the one that brings the depressing news, but it comes across my feed, and I'm like, hey, like I'm not trying to make not trying to just share stuff out there, but if you live in the Denton County, Texas area, Collin County, Texas area, honestly, she's probably widely known across a couple of the other counties too.
Well, she's a staple of the community. I mean, being the mayor in '93 in Louisville, and then
so just keep her in your prayers.
Do they have any motive or any idea on motive? That's why, especially because I wouldn't be as surprised if it was like a random happening or if it was like a home invasion, but like it's the grandson.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't released anything yet. They're still trying to figure stuff out, what his motive was.
Did she not send that $5 Christmas check or like what? I know. Sorry, I try to make a bad situation for them, but
I don't know. But either way, it's sad. So just keep her in your thoughts and prayers for anyone who sees this. Our church has been praying for their family. It's very tragic, and hope that she has a speedy recovery, and everyone just being there for her and her family. I guess.
I was going to say, let's play a game and let's find some more depressing news that's even more depressing than that.
So apparently there's been what they would consider an outbreak of the measles in Texas. Yay!
They've always said sharing is caring.
Yes. Apparently, as of most recently, there has been Frisco.
Oh.
So as close as Frisco and Plano have gotten it. Nothing in Denton County yet, but also too back home where I'm from, there have been a couple of reported cases as well.
Alaska?
I wish, because it would be a lot more beautiful than Paris, Texas.
Don't you do Paris, Texas dirty like that. They have an Eiffel Tower, sir.
It did me dirty in a lot of ways. So it says West Texas is in the middle of a still growing measles outbreak with 505 cases reported on Tuesday. That's just in West Texas.
Yeah.
It's not including the confirmed cases that we've had over here. Apparently people who have had it are just going out and about, just living their daily lives, and they know they have it. And it's like, what are you doing? You're making a bad situation worse.
It's quite literally cooties at this, point in time. These kids are sharing cooties.
Let's see here. 3 people who were unvaccinated have died from measles-related illnesses this year, including 2 elementary school-aged children in Texas. This just goes to say this is why the measles vaccine is probably one of the more prominent vaccines that you need to get. I can go without getting a flu vaccine. I could care less about that, but measles is something that, hey.
Interesting. I didn't realize like RFK Jr. attended the funeral in Seminole.
Yeah.
Huh.
The highly contagious virus began to spread in late January, and health officials say it has spread to New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Mexico.
I think we need to really shut down the country. I think we need to really stop the spread, and I think we should all receive government subsidies in the mail like as soon as possible. I think
I can't handle that inflation from that.
I am entitled to $5,000 right now because of this. I feel threatened. And I need compensation. It's my money, and I need it now.
Okay, JG Wentworth. Yeah, I'll be honest. I could not handle inflation from another government shutdown. Like if we got checks again, I could not handle the inflation from that. Like that was bad.
I'm just saying. I think I'm entitled to. You know what? $12,000.
Also, what would be the chances that both of Trump's terms, which technically one of them was towards the end of his term, what would be the freaking chances that in his second presidential term, another major virus outbreak happens and everything has to shut down again for 2 weeks, and then it's like 5 months and everything's shut down? I'll be honest with you, I don't think he would shut everything down again.
I don't think so. And I think this one's a little bit more explainable too, because if I understand it correctly, I think the reason it's truly as bad as it is because wasn't it? It was an unvaccinated community in West Texas. Was it the Mennonites? It was something. It was a social group social religious group somewhere out in West Texas where basically it made it a cluster bomb. Right here. Yeah, Mennonites.
Majority of cases.
Gaines County.
Yeah. Neighboring Terry County was second with 46, followed by Lubbock County with 36. So
yeah. And then they go off and visit people and people, on vacation, and I get that, but it's like
so it's definitely interesting. Again, nothing too pressing, but if they don't figure it out and actually quarantine the people, I mean, it is essentially glorified cooties. That's really what it is. But it can still take a toll, especially on younger kids. Like if you're a full healthy adult, like it'll hit you, but it's not gonna do a lot. You just got to quarantine yourself for like a week and a half, something like that, maybe, and let it run its course and then be done with it.
Yeah.
But again, dude, if we had, which kind of going back to that, I mean, there was like rumors that China was like another virus and all this other kind of stuff that was on the cusp of.
Oh, that's not a rumor. That's next week.
Honestly, here's the thing. If that happens, Unscripted Company will have a lot more time on their hands. And so we have a lot more episodes to come.
Yeah. We're
developing stories.
We're going to have a 24-hour stream with John Cena in a week or two, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I thought he landed that for a second.
Do a kickflip. It's a kickflip 450 splash.
Yeah, it is a kickflip.
Holy fuck.
Oh wow.
Don't try that one at home, kids.
I got all of that, bro.
I got all of it, bro. I got it all on camera, bro. Bro, it's going on TMZ, bro. That's wild. Can you imagine what your brain's thinking if you're the captain of that? Oh, I got another one for you here. Jeffrey Epstein, accuser, Virginia Giuffre, previously said, quote, "In no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Her death was ruled a suicide. She's no longer with us.
Here's the thing. They said that they've released a list, or like the first of the list.
Well, where is it?
That too.
No, where is it though? Where is the list? Have you seen the list? I haven't seen the list.
No, because
I've seen certain flight manifests, but I haven't seen the list.
No, because didn't they say like beginning of this year, something like that they had like the first portion of the list to. And here's also too the kicker. What happened to the whole P. Diddy thing?
Oh, he's in jail right now. I think he's awaiting trial date, isn't he?
Well, no, because they released a list of celebrities, but then they said there were more people to come, and we haven't seen anything yet.
That's true.
And like, what happened to those people?
This is if Darth Vader had an Indian accent.
Vader, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence.
You may dispense with a horseshit, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule.
I assure you, Lord Vader, my men are working as fast as they can.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them. Gift cards, maybe?
I tell you, this station will be operational as planned.
The Emperor does not share your optimistic
appraisal of the situation, white man.
But yes, possible. I need more men.
Then perhaps you can tell him when he arrives.
The Emperor's coming here?
That is correct, Commander. And he is most displeased with your apparent lack of progress.
We shall double our efforts.
I hope so, Commander, for your karma. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man. So, whew, okay.
Do you know who Pat McAfee is?
Yes.
You see the video that went viral of him this past week doing his NFL draft coverage?
Is he hitting a...
You see Mike McCarthy's like, nah.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm good. That's crazy. That is such a Pat McAfee thing to do, though.
Yeah, it is.
Dude's living like a great life right now, it seems. After he got choked out by Gunther.
Yes. The other thing is, do you see Slate Auto came out with this little pickup truck? After federal tax incentives will be around $20,000 for the base model. It's an all-electric small pickup truck.
Nope. I have no need for that.
It's very basic. Probably coming to a work site near you.
Probably, dude. So, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, yeah. What you got on that?
So, apparently the judge, there's actually two portions of it. Apparently the Texas judge in the case going on right now was targeted an alleged doxing host. FBI investigation is currently underway for so the same judge who reduced the $1 million bond says, due to the nature of the situation, we are coordinated with the FBI and our fusion center to monitor for any concerning rhetoric or propaganda that could incite violence. Apparently they found out where he lives. It's like cyberbullying involves publicly posting someone's personal information without consent. So apparently people are like finding out where he lives, finding out all this stuff about him. And
Riley, what's your address real quick? I can put that in the chat.
Good.
No, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't fit in one of those. Dude, you're absolutely right. I would not fit in one of those vehicles that he just showed. You're absolutely right. I would not. So there's no reason for not buying one, among many others. So apparently it's illegal in the state of Texas to dox somebody, posting another one's private information, all that according to the penal code. If someone is harmed during a doxing event, it also becomes a felony in Texas.
Yikes. I mean, that's a good thing, but yikes.
Yes. It says Anthony, the reporter, confessed to stabbing Metcalf when he was arrested by a school resource officer. I'm not alleged. I did it. So he owned up to it. Here's the thing. I mean, he owned up to it. So it's like, how many people do you know that would just straight up own up to it if they weren't guilty of something? Like, he owned up to it. And he's like, you know what? I did it. You know, like, let's figure this out. Let's talk about it. Let's get out of the bottom.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like, it's very obvious that like that happened, but it's what led up to those.
Exactly.
What led up to that moment.
Yeah.
As to the severity, like, it's messy. Both sides are in the wrong here, but it's like what truly led up to that moment.
Yeah, 100%. Apparently the activists that I didn't even know about this. Next Generation Acting Network, the group representing the Anthony family, shared a news release saying the threats, including people loitering and taking photos of the Anthony family's current address, unwanted food deliveries, that NGAN said were made to disturb and harass the family, and a mailing of Metcalf's obituary to the home, which was also described as disturbing. We are sharing images and documentation of the threats apparently has faced this past weekend to make the public aware of the dangerous atmosphere that has been created. The atmosphere fueled by the organized crime, systemic racism, and intentional misinformation, the group said. It is both heartbreaking and infuriating to see the depths of the hate and bigotry still alive and well in our society. NGA and President Dominic Alexander said no family should have to live under siege simply because they are demanding their constitutional rights. We will not be silent. We will not back down. We are committed to doing whatever is necessary to protect this family, to ensure that justice is pursued without intimidation or fear. It's like, I want to clarify something. Jeff Metcalf has tried to tone down the political rhetoric since April 2nd stabbing. As he previously told Fox News, I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and gossip. This is not a race thing. This is not a political thing. Do not politicize this. It is not, or it's not. This is a human being thing. The person made a bad choice and affected both his family and my family forever. Spokesperson. I think that's very mature. Whether he wrote that or not, that's very mature for someone to finally come out and say, hey, like, this is a person thing. Like, don't make this a political or a race thing. Something tragic happened. Let's figure it out. The spokesperson of the FBI confirmed to Fox News Digital that the agency is working with the Frisco Police Department on the doxing incident, but deferred to the Frisco Police Department or Collin County Sheriff's Office for more details about the investigation. So, again, more of that. But then on top of that news, Carmelo Anthony has also been moved to an undisclosed location. He is no longer at his home.
Probably makes sense.
So, don't know where he's at.
Time to figure it out. Back to Google Earth. Let's go. Is it Chico? Is he in Chico?
Maybe, dude. Who knows?
This episode of Unscripted Company has been brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce for the city of Chico. Chico, Texas, hometown of Quinn Ewers and future home of Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Chico, Texas. Have you tried?
Oh.
Yeah.
So, end of June. So, we finally have now an exact date of when. So, District Attorney Greg Willis told KTVT the case against Anthony could go to a grand jury by the end of June. So, we still have 2 months, give or take.
I understand it's like a speedy trial in the grand scheme of things, but man, yeah, that's a wait. That's a little bit of a wait.
And that will be the deciding factor if it goes to trial. So, they could literally go to the grand jury, say, hey, we're going to have a trial date, and then like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by before a trial date even happens.
Yeah.
It's like, I get that they want to make sure that they have everything in order, which you do, but it's like, we've talked about it before. Look to see if there's cameras at the school. Like, subpoena every single person there and their cell phones, because someone's going to have a video out there at some point, and like, just have their phones and figure it out. But either way, he's now no more. It says more than 30 students were listed in a redacted police report as witnesses to the stabbing, as well as a half dozen coaches. So 50 plus people probably saw what happened.
They probably don't want to release anything until a court case happens, because they don't want the defense or the prosecution, depending on who has what, to have this info prior, so that way they can make the best case on both sides of the coin here, depending on what's actually going on in that video. Because it could be very surprising what we don't know potentially.
Could be. And like I said, I told everyone I would try to have updates every week. This is just kind of what's happening. Nothing new or pressing has come out, but we just don't know where he's
except that, he's at an undisclosed location.
He's still in the county.
Oh, for sure. He's probably at a short-term rental, hotel, motel, apartment.
Something. And he's probably he's probably got off-duty police officers watching, stuff like that, making sure that he's, safe and make sure no one's going to do anything. But I'll be honest, someone's going to find him. I hate saying that, but with today's technology and everything, somebody's bound to spot him and find him.
Yeah,
so
probably.
They may end up having to move him again. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else on your end?
Yeah, I have this one really important thing I wanted to show you real quick. It's of the utmost importance.
I'm picking up your vibration.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's all I got though. Everything else is just stupid videos, which I'll definitely save for next time.
Well, I guess one last thing we could talk about.
Yeah.
Because, we've been roughly about 100 days into it. Let's talk about how Trump's first 100 days were as president.
Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Chaotic and somewhat entertaining.
Well, according to Reuters, Trump's first 100 days, America's first president is overturning the world order.
I believe that. That's what's causing the chaos. Is we're definitely we're at the precipice of a new. I don't know if I want to say world order, but alignment of the world.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So apparently going into the tariffs, he launched an unprecedented global tariff war and slashed U.S. foreign aid, which. So kind of going on the tariffs, I hope everyone knows that, like, don't get me wrong, the tariffs are going to suck, especially when everything really starts taking effect. He did lower the China tariffs, but it's not going to be good at first. Like, we are going to face some backlash from it. But I want everyone to keep in mind, we've been paying tariffs to all these people this entire time that we've been shipping stuff to them too. Like, they've had tariffs on us the entire time. So it's just... It all falls into place of the fact that we should have tariffs on them as well. It just makes sense. Like, that's how trading should go. Or honestly, if we have no tariffs at all, and then everything just, but everyone wants to make money nowadays. That's all it's about is money. So just want to throw that out there.
Did you see that Klaus Schwab stepped down from the World Economic Forum?
I did not.
He did. There's some interesting scrutiny out there that he mishandled funds, but regardless, homeboy is no longer in charge at the World Economic Forum. So,
wow,
it's just something interesting.
And we have it's more like a savings over at Charles Schwab. Interesting.
Oh no, Klaus Schwab is not the same as Charles Schwab. Two different.
Okay, well, I didn't know if he was like a portion of like
not at all.
related to him.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. So yeah, it actually says it right here in the chaotic first 100 days. So you had it right. It was very chaotic. So he apparently has, according to Daddy Streaming, he has the lowest favorability rating of any president going back to Roosevelt. That's just because, like, I'll be honest, we don't know what his ultimate grand scheme or his ultimate plan is. Only the people that are in that room with him when he's discussing this know what's going to happen. He's shaking things up. We have not seen anything like this. Dude, I don't even know. Probably since back in the 90s, 2000s, before the housing market is like, we haven't just seen an economy like this. Like, I haven't really kept up with a lot of the stocks and everything lately, but it seems like things are kind of going back up a little bit, but they're just still overall not where they should be.
I think that's part of the question too, is where should they be?
Here's the thing. Like,
look at the history of the S&P 500, the Dow Jones,
the
NASDAQ 100. I don't know. Where should it be? Probably a lot lower than where it's at. But we're here where we are today.
I'm conflicted because I don't think where the stocks have been at, like with their record highs and then where their record lows, I don't think our economy should be based off those. Like, they should have an impact, yes, but not a major impact on just everything. Because I always hear people saying this right here. They say, like, and I've heard Dave Ramsey say this. He's like, if you make $38,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of the country. First of all, I don't think anyone should be making $36,000 a year. I think the minimum should be $40,000, $45,000 a year should be the new minimum, because people can't live off $36,000 a year, not with the cost of rent. I look at everything as, like, I was doing the math on this because we just recently did our taxes, and my Dana made around 44-ish, something like that. And I did the math on it. I was like, how much does that equate out to per month? And then, like, I multiplied our bills up, how much we spend usually every month. If we don't spend any excess on whatever else, if we just pay our bills every single month. And I'm like, we should have this amount of money left over. Where's it all going? And so I've been just kind of thinking about just everything as a whole, like the economy, the stocks, just everything. And I'm like, we should not be in the position as a country with stocks and how those have such a huge impact on everything by how much people buy, because the companies are still worth a lot of money. And some of them should not be worth the amount of money that they are, but it's only because of when they were established.
Yeah. One thing real quick, Daddy Streaming brings us up, and I didn't even think to have this as a conversation topic, but everyone who is back due, overdue, in default on their student loans, they haven't gone to collections since, was it 2020? They're turning that spigot back on, meaning that if you owe money on student loans, they will start garnishing your wages. I think May something's like the deadline. I didn't read into it too much because I know I'm current. I'm actually concerned about it, really. But a lot of people need to be concerned because those people who have not been paying this whole time and have gone into forbearance and just hit pause and never really paid it, you owe that money now, or it will start coming out of your paycheck. It will start coming out of your taxes. They will come and collect.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with that because it's like, pay your student loans, people. Like, if you never intended to pay your student loans, you should have never have gone to college in the first place. Like, you just shouldn't have. Like, because student loans are what they are. I'm fortunate that, I can pay what I pay on mine and have a low interest rate. So it's pretty much all going to principal. My balance goes down every single month, and it doesn't go down and then the interest kicks in and then it goes back. It just barely takes anything off. My actual, student loan goes down. And again, I proposed this question last week that if the Department of Education just gets shut down, like they're planning on doing or trying to do, where does that leave the student loans? Like, where are they going to go? Because they're going to go somewhere.
Yeah, they're still going to be owed. I think it's the same way that mortgages get bought and sold.
Yeah.
Someone else will assume that debt. I don't think the department will fully go away. I think they'll hang it around just to keep. Because I should have pulled this up. The amount of income that the federal government gets from student loans is a significant portion of like the overall budget. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Daddy Streaming, he said the recent student loan activity is going to hit a lot of folks hard. And then he said, I understand paying them back, but a lot of us weren't properly informed about them. We just knew that if we didn't take one out, we wouldn't be able to continue our schooling. That is true. They push that on people saying, hey, like, get this money and you can go to school, but they don't really tell you about how much you're actually going to owe every single month, before you to take away from just your income. There's some people that I know that pay thousands of dollars a month in student loan debt. That's insane, man. That is insane. Almost 50%.
Yeah, 45%. This is as of 2018. I just did a quick Google search, found the first one. I'm sure it's a greater percentage potentially. Since then, we can, people can Google to get the most up-to-date stats. This is as of Q1 2018. But just seeing student loans are a very large percentage of the total financial assets that the federal government owns. There's no way they're getting rid of that. It's a good money maker for them. It keeps money flowing in.
So let's see here. Percentages. So let's see here. This might be, I don't know if this is the same website, but it might be the same website. I don't know how to read a single bit of that, so I'm not going to do that. So here's the thing. When it comes to student loans also, I tried to apply for the whole student loan forgiveness thing. And they were like, unfortunately, you don't meet the requirements. And I'm like, oh, so I make too little money and I didn't even finish my degree. So you're not just going to forgive my 10 grand. That's going to be this compared to the grand scheme of things, where I've actually, seen like people who have actually mentioned like, hey, and the thing is, I've also been told too, that if you've paid on your student loans, I don't know what the time frame is, that if you paid on your student loans for like an extended period of time, that you actually don't have to pay, like something happens where you don't have to pay them off anymore. I could be totally wrong on that, but I've been told that
there's like programs and stuff depending on like what field of work you're in, or there's ways. But
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm getting close. I'm getting close to that point. So I'm gonna have to apply at that point. But yeah, so again, definitely a weird time that we're in. For those of you who have your student loans, you're going to start paying those back at some point. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be fun for some people. So hopefully you set some money aside and you didn't just waste a bunch of money on stuff. If a lot of people should have been smart at that time and refinanced like I did and got really low interest rates on my loans. So now I'm kind of just golden. I still want to pay them off, not particularly, but if I can pay mine off and I didn't get my degree, the people who got their degrees, put the degree to use, do something. Like, I know a lot of people don't really hold degrees in high regard a lot anymore, but do something. Don't just not pay your student loans, because that's just going to affect our economy a lot worse. And guess what? People like myself are going to be responsible for yours at the end of the day if you don't pay them off. So same with my co-host here. Like, our taxes at some point, something is going to happen where we're going to have to pay them off at some point. So just continue doing so. So
cool. With that, do you want to put episode 65 in the books?
Yeah.
We're
good.
Yeah. Just like Daddy Streaming says, his media arts degree definitely helped him become an internal auditor. It's okay. I was a history major. I'm not a historian. So
it's okay. I went to school for graphic design. I'm a real estate professional.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. That being said, if you made it to this part, first of all, thanks for hanging with us. If you haven't done so already, give the episode a like, a thumbs up, give the channel a follow, a subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. You know the buttons you got to click to help us out here. We'll see y'all next week. And Riley, you want to send us on our way with some words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. You always ask me this question, and some weeks I feel like I don't have the words of wisdom, and that's okay. But just know this. We are the fastest growing podcast on the web right now. All of your love and support has been greatly appreciated. We do appreciate it. Continue to just, again, it's a wild world that we have out there right now. At this point, we really need more people to be together more than anything else. Just continue to love on each other and continue to be there for each other. So with that being said, thank you all. We'll see you on the next one.